"Mommy, that's the man who fixed our car," the little girl cried, her small finger trembling as she pointed toward the tall man stepping out of the sleek black car. The mother froze, her breath caught between disbelief and confusion. Because standing in front of the grand glass building, surrounded by suited men bowing respectfully, was the same man who had once knelt on the roadside, his white shirt smudged with grease, helping them fix a broken-down car in the pouring rain. But what she didn't know that day was that he wasn't just any man, he was the CEO of the company she was about to interview for. And what was about to happen next would change both of their lives forever. Rain poured heavily that night. The kind that made the world blur beyond the windshield, the kind that tested every struggling soul's patience. Sarah gripped the steering wheel tightly, her heart pounding as she whispered, "Come on, please don't stop now." But the old car, with its worn-out engine and faded red paint, sputtered once, twice, then died completely on the side of a lonely road. She closed her eyes for a moment, trying to stay calm. In the back seat, her 6-year-old daughter, Lily, was clutching her school bag and her favorite stuffed bunny, whispering, "Mommy, are we okay?" Sarah turned and forced a smile. "We're okay, sweetheart." Just the car being silly again. But inside, she was breaking. She was on her way to a job interview she desperately needed, the first real opportunity after months of rejections. Their rent was due. The fridge was almost empty. And all she could do was sit in a broken car in the middle of nowhere. As she got out into the rain, she realized her phone battery was dead. "Great," she muttered. She opened the hood, staring at the mess of metal and wires, pretending to understand. Her hands trembled, not from the cold, but from the quiet fear of being stranded, unseen, forgotten. And then, headlights approached. A black sedan slowed down and stopped beside her. The driver's door opened, and out stepped a tall man in a white shirt and black pants, holding an umbrella. He looked out of place, his shoes were polished, his presence confident, like someone who belonged in a boardroom, not a wet roadside. "Need some help?" he asked, his voice deep but gentle. Sarah hesitated. I don't want to trouble you." "You're already in trouble," he said lightly, smiling. "Let's see what's wrong." She watched as he rolled up his sleeves and leaned over the engine, raindrops running down his face. For the next 20 minutes, he worked patiently, checking cables, wiping grime, even laughing when Lily peeked out the window and shouted, "You look like a superhero, mister." When the engine finally roared back to life, Sarah almost cried in relief. "I don't know how to thank you," she said. He shook his head. "Just get home safe. That's thanks enough." As he turned to leave, she called out, "Wait, what's your name?" He paused, smiling faintly. "Call me Alex." And before she could say another word, he disappeared into the rain. Sarah drove away that night with a strange warmth in her heart. The world had been cruel to her lately, but that one act of kindness, by a stranger who didn't know her anything, lit something inside her again. The next morning, she woke up early. Her clothes were ironed, her hair neatly tied, and her nerves trembling. The interview was at a large corporate building downtown, an opportunity that could finally change their future. "Wish me luck, Lily," she said as her daughter hugged her tight. "You'll get it, Mommy. Because you're brave." Sarah smiled through tears. "I hope so, sweetheart." When she entered the grand lobby, she felt small among the glass walls and marble floors. She checked in nervously at the reception, trying not to notice her worn shoes or the slight tremor in her hands. "Please wait here," the receptionist said politely. She sat, clutching her file, silently praying. And then the elevator doors opened. A group of executives stepped out, surrounding one man in a dark tailored suit. He had the same confident stride, the same calm aura, and for a moment, Sarah's breath stopped. It was him. Alex. The man who had fixed her car. Only now, he wasn't covered in rain and grease. He was every inch the powerful CEO the company worshipped. He noticed her instantly. His eyes softened, recognition flashing through them. But before either could speak, the receptionist hurried over, saying, "Mr. Carter, the interviews are ready in conference room A." He nodded slightly, then turned to Sarah. "You're here for the marketing position, right?" Her throat went dry. "Why yes, sir." "Good," he said, smiling faintly. I'll see you inside. Her heart was racing so hard she could barely breathe. Inside the interview room, she faced a panel of executives, but it was Alex who asked the most questions. And not easy ones. He wanted to see how she thought, how she handled pressure. She stumbled at first, nerves taking over. But when she looked at him, she saw the same man who had stopped in the rain to help her when he didn't have to. That memory steadied her. By the end, she spoke from the heart, not about her achievements, but about resilience, empathy, and the belief that kindness still had a place in business. When she finished, the room was silent. Alex leaned back, studying her. "Thank you, Ms. Reed," he said softly. "We'll be in touch." She walked out feeling uncertain but strangely peaceful. Days passed. No call came. She assumed she'd lost the job. Then one afternoon, while walking Lily home from school, a car pulled up beside them. Lily's eyes widened. "Mommy! That's the man who fixed our car," she shouted, pointing excitedly. Sarah froze as Alex stepped out, smiling gently. "I was hoping I'd run into you," he said. "Actually, I came to see you." She blinked. "See me?" He handed her an envelope. Inside was a letter of employment, her name printed neatly at the top. "I didn't want to just call," he said. "I wanted to tell you in person that you're hired. Not just because you're smart, but because you're the kind of person who keeps going, even when the road gets hard. We need people like that." Sarah's eyes filled with tears. I don't know what to say." "Say yes," he said simply, smiling. Lily ran up and hugged his leg. "You're the superhero again." Alex laughed, crouching down. "Superheroes need teammates, you know." And that was the beginning of a new chapter for all of them. Sarah's job changed their life. But what truly stayed with her wasn't the money, it was the moment she realized that small kindnesses ripple far beyond what we see. Sometimes, the stranger who stops to help you fix your car might just be the one who helps you rebuild your whole life.